If you're a sports fan, make sure you go check out SportsCastr for all of your sports news. Whether you are a Patriots fan or not, this is the perfect way to meet all of your sports needs and is a platform I personally use myself in case any of you guys want to catch me live talking about training camp recaps, etc. I'll leave a link in the description below. What is up, Pats Nation? It's Patriots Global back here with another video, and as I'm sure a lot of you already know, the New England Patriots have released quarterback / wide receiver Danny Etling, a guy they have really been working on trying to develop at multiple different positions. Now, before I continue this video, I just wanted to say yet again that if you do buy some Patriots Global merch, which like always is in the description box below, and if you guys send me a picture of you rocking your Patriots Global merch, I will include you in my next YouTube video. You can show me you rocking your PG merch by either tagging me in an Instagram photo, sending me your photo through Instagram DM, or emailing me. All of that is in the description below, both my Instagram and my business email. But on to Danny Etling. So the Patriots had to release Danny Etling because they needed an extra roster spot for newly acquired via trade tight end Eric Saubert, which if you guys haven't watched my video on him yet and you want to know more about him, there will be a link in the description below to that video. Now, I am going to personally say that I was really surprised to see them let go of Danny Etling, and it wasn't because he was surprising. It's not like he was developing well at either quarterback or wide receiver. It's just because I would have more expected them to release an offensive tackle, someone like a Martez Ivy, in order to make room for Eric Saubert. And I think that the release really does speak volumes to kind of how Danny Etling was starting to develop and where he was going. The New England Patriots have really tried, to develop him, to really work on his abilities for a while, especially for a guy that they wasted a 7th round pick on. Most teams wouldn't even go into a following season with that player. A lot of times they just release him and keep him released, but again, they placed him on the practice squad for an entire year. He's here an offseason later. They try to convert him to wide receiver, and it just doesn't happen. Now, I'm sure a big reason they just decided to release him and realize that there was no hope was because, one, Danny Etling last week in our first preseason game, he had one ball thrown his way and was not able to pull it in. It was actually tipped up in the air and he just was not able to locate the ball in order to bring it down. But also in yesterday's training camp practice, both Jarrett Stidham and Brian Hoyer threw interceptions. Jarrett Stidham threw 2 while Brian Hoyer threw 1, and they were all going Danny Etling's way. Now, the Brian Hoyer interception was more on Brian Hoyer's fault as a quarterback, but as for the two Jarrett Stidham interceptions to Danny Etling, those were actually Danny Etling's fault. He was not able to bring the ball in. The ball was tipped up in the air, and again, the defenders were able to get an interception off of it. And so, therefore, Danny Etling is causing more harm than he actually is doing anything good. And a lot of people, I'm sure, in the comments are going to try to compare this to Julian Edelman. They got to keep him. He's going to be the next Julian Edelman, but I don't think he's going to be the next Julian Edelman, and I never did, okay? Julian Edelman really is a one-of-a-kind type of guy. He also came in knowing that he was going to be switched to wide receiver, and in his first preseason game, he was able to do something that Danny Etling didn't do. He just, in general, had a lot better qualities than Danny Etling did. Danny Etling getting switched to wide receiver looked like a deer in the headlights whenever he was out there playing at the wide receiver position. And I love that the Patriots really did, genuinely try to work out Danny Etling and get him on the team somehow, but ultimately it just didn't work. The Pats are back now to their 90-man roster. If they do make any more transactions for signings or trades, they will have to release another player. But roster cutdowns are coming very, very, very soon. They are again August 31st from what I've been hearing. And I highly doubt that any team is going to pick up Danny Etling. He hasn't done anything good since joining the NFL that would make me think that a team would take a chance on him. Now, he was a New England Patriots quarterback, so there definitely is teams that might do it, but I still highly doubt it. So I wouldn't necessarily be surprised to see Danny Etling in a couple weeks back on the Patriots practice squad. But I also wouldn't be shocked if it didn't happen. Bill Belichick also did the most Bill Belichick thing and tried to get Danny Etling on special teams, where Danny Etling, yet again, was not able to capitalize on this. And from what I hear, if the Patriots do not bring back Danny Etling to the practice squad, that his NFL career is most likely over. So for his sake, I do hope that the Patriots do bring him back to the practice squad. If I'm 100% honest, I don't really see Danny Etling going much of anywhere. At best, he becomes a mediocre wide receiver, but he hasn't done anything. He hasn't shown any qualities at all that tell me that he can be a good, decent, quality wide receiver in the league. And obviously, quarterback has not really played out best for him. Of course, Bill Belichick really drafting him his high hope for him. You know, the best thing about Danny Etling was the fact that he takes care of the ball very well. Now, of course, Danny Etling didn't get much time in the preseason. He got a few snaps, and then Brian Hoyer got most of them from there. But the last preseason game against the Giants, Danny Etling did play the whole game, in which he did not throw any good balls, both long balls, both, short balls, dump offs, just any ball. Danny Etling was not doing well. Finished with 2 interceptions, so obviously the best thing about him taking care of the ball was not translated well. And ultimately, Etling was an experiment for Bill Belichick and the Patriots and the rest of the coaching staff, and it just didn't go anywhere. But that is it for today's video. What are your guys' thoughts on the Patriots releasing quarterback/wide receiver Danny Etling? I also want to say, for the guy that told me that Danny Etling is the future and to remember his comment, I remember your comment. So, yeah. But that is it for today's video. If you guys are not subscribed yet, please subscribe yet for all of your Patriots, New England Patriots news and updates. I make sure to get everything out as soon as I possibly can. I make a plethora of different videos, over 300 videos I have, so there is definitely at least one that will suit your fancy. Make sure you guys share this video with everybody who knows Swing of the Patriots Global Family. And other than that, I will catch you guys in another video.